Hi, welcome to Scruffy Politics. I'm Stimpy and I'm here with Steve-O. And our topic today, we're going to discuss just basically crime, all these stories that have happened recently, particularly in New York City. But we just had that big decision with Daniel Penny. He was the guy who restrained a person in the subway who was threatening people, and the guy unfortunately died as a result of that. And that was a long court case, and they found him not guilty. So that's what we're going to discuss today. Now, I guess my thoughts on this are I don't think the case should have been brought in the first place. First of all, the guy, I believe he was still conscious and breathing when the police arrived. Now, the first thing that Daniel Penny said to the police, from my reading, was that because he had military training in applying these chokeholds, that he knew that that guy was on drugs because of the amount of strength that he had. So the guy was still alive, he was still breathing, and the first thing that he said to police was that the guy was on drugs. Now, the guy did die later. I don't know if they ruled what the cause of death was. I don't think it was strangulation, so it was actually drug-induced, I think was the cause of death. So I don't think that Alvin Bragg should have ever brought this case in the first place. But I don't know. What do you think, Steve-O?
I think he should have been charged. He had the guy in a chokehold, and the guy eventually passed out from the chokehold or was unconscious from the chokehold. And others on the train or the subway said, okay, could let him go. We could still hold him down, more than one person. But I don't think this Daniel Penny intended to kill him. I don't think he wanted to kill him. I think it was an accident. I think he was in a frame of mind like, okay, this guy is acting crazy. He was threatening people, but he didn't do anything to people yet. So Penny took him down, put him in a chokehold when it could have. Daniel Penny, he's in good shape, and there were other people on the train too who at one point told Penny, okay, I think he's unconscious. We could still hold him down, but you don't need him in a chokehold anymore.
Just real quick, I
And
want to point out one key fact also. The other people that helped restrain him were people of color. So that also kind of negates the whole theory that this was racist, right? Because the other guys that were help holding him down, I think were also, I don't know, brown or Latino or something.
yeah, but well, that's that's a good point, and I don't think he did it because the man was black. However, if this came to court and let's say Daniel Penny was a black guy and the guy he choked was white, I think it would be a whole different outcome, and I think he would have been found guilty. And I don't think Donald Trump would reach out to him and invite him to was it the Yale or was it the Army Navy
Yeah,
game that he
yeah, Army Navy
invited
game.
with,
Yep,
with Daniel Penny and
yep.
Kyle Rittenhouse, which Republicans view both these guys as heroes. They're not heroes.
Well,
Kyle Rittenhouse, that's for a whole nother story and
the
day.
reason
And
people push back on this is because they're sick and tired of this scenario, and this is why crime has gotten so bad. The prosecuting attorneys now in most of these cities and states, they're treating the victims like the criminal or the assailant, and they treat the attacker like a victim who should be coddled and taken care of by the government. And people are rejecting that. So that's what's happening here. I mean, a lot of these people, it's unbelievable some of the stories that you hear. Like a good example is kind of drifting off into a different case, but that Laken Riley that was murdered by the immigrant, he had already been arrested for something in New York, and they let him go. They let him go, and then he applied for a government plane ticket to go to Georgia. That's how he got there. I mean, it's mind blowing. Can you imagine being a family member of one of these people and saying to yourself, this guy committed a crime. The police arrested him and they let him go because they were just being lenient. I guess because he was an immigrant or because he's, a diverse color. I mean, that's mind blowing to me.
and can I mention something about that though?
Yeah.
And that's true. I mean, they should have done a better job with that. But there was also an illegal immigrant who also, under Trump's term in office, killed someone. I forgot her name. I forgot what the situation was. But Trump didn't want that talked about because guess what? That was under Trump's watch. But when something happens under Biden's watch, then of course, it's so easy to point the finger. And
I agree with you. It's happened under both. So what we have to acknowledge is it's happened under both, but the situation recently, it's just a pure numbers thing. There were more people that came in under Biden. So as a result, you have many more of these cases where there was people who were actually deported under Trump and then came back under Biden because it was a policy choice. They wanted the workers here for whatever reason. They've never really actually explained that, and I don't want to get off into that. But I never actually heard Biden or Kamala come forward and say, this is why we specifically opened the border and welcomed all these people to come in. They never actually said it. But as a result, a lot of people that had gotten kicked out previously came back. And of course, many of them, can have a criminal background. And of course, what are they going to do here? They're going to engage in crime because it's all they know. That's what they were doing in their home country where they came from. But the point I want to get back to is if you have a government system that is going to make you the problem and try to charge and arrest you, then what do you do when you're riding the subway or you're just out in public and some crazy person who doesn't work and has mental illness and is on drugs walks up, gets in your face, and starts saying to your face they're going to kill you? Because that's what he was saying on the train. He was saying, I'm going to kill somebody, and I will go to prison for it. I'm going to kill somebody. What do you do with somebody like that? Now, everybody else just sat there scared and did nothing. Daniel Penny decided to act. He decided, you know what, that's not right. He shouldn't be scaring these people. I don't know what the guy is going to do. So I'm going to act and I'm going to restrain this guy until the police can get here. Now, when you scare citizens into not doing anything, then you have this situation where this woman literally gets burnt alive on the train and nobody does anything. People sat there and videotaped it and didn't do anything. Why? Because you just had this Daniel Penny case. They were saying, if I interject, if I get involved, if I do anything here, I could be charged by Alvin Bragg. So I'm just going to sit back and watch this lady burn. Now, what kind of society is that?
and I totally agree with you there. And I think the people who recorded it instead of trying to help or call 911, I think they should be charged as well because they found it to be a show or something. But with Daniel Penny, like I said, he didn't intend to kill, this guy. And I forgot what
his name
the
either.
homeless guy's name was, but he could have done it in a different fashion. He could have, after he had him in the chokehold, he could have said, okay, when the guy was still alive, he could have had a couple of other people help hold him down. And so, but because he wanted to...
Jordan Neely, that was his name.
What was his name?
Jordan Neely.
Neely, okay. And, but yeah, so I think,
No,
oh
here's
my gosh, I forgot the guy's name who,
Daniel
was in
Penny.
court. Yeah, Daniel Penny. Yeah, I mean, I think he had good intent at first, but he didn't know when to stop, and he should have known when to stop since he did have military training. And so that's also part of the problem. So, but yes, he should have been found, what's the word? Manslaughter or accidental manslaughter or,
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I think-
and served some time. Like, should he serve years? No. But he should have some time behind bars. But yes, like you said with people pulling out their phones, I think, yeah, that's a problem. But just because but let's go back to Neely, the homeless guy who was threatening people. We've all been in uncomfortable situations. I've been in situations where I've been in the city. I've been uncomfortable or there's some nutcase on the subway or the L, but that doesn't mean I take action and put the guy on the ground or chokehold. We all have. I mean, we've all been in uncomfortable situations, but that doesn't mean we have to act on it all the time. So
Yeah, it's a very I mean, the question is, when do you act? I mean, yeah, you could just sit back and wait until this guy does something, but then what happens? It only takes a split second to pull out a gun and shoot somebody, or it only takes sometimes one hit. I mean, if this guy's on drugs and has incredible strength, I mean, one correct punch to the head can actually kill a human being. So then what do? Now you're sitting there saying, "Oh shoot, I should have probably did something, but I didn't." You know,
yeah,
and
I mean that's true. And if I were on a train and someone was burning, or was set on fire, I'd most likely call 911. Others would too, but when you're on a train, there's no police, on the train with you. It's not like you can just get off the train, So it's a complicated issue.
I mean, that just speaks to a whole other point. I mean, we're at 10 minutes right now, so we got 5 minutes to wrap this one up. But, I mean, what kind of society do we live in that you would not try to help someone literally burning to death? I mean, I would take the shirt off my back. I would do anything to try to help put that person out. And I would hope others would. And I don't know if it's, I mean, I don't want to get in trouble for saying it's a city thing, but I can't imagine where I live here in Michigan. I can't imagine that anybody would sit there and watch somebody on fire. I mean, a car wreck or something like that. I mean, if you pull over on the side of the road with hazards because you have a flat tire, three different people will stop in a matter of minutes and ask you if you need help. So I don't understand how you could have a situation where somebody literally burns to death and people are just sitting there minding their own business like, no big deal. I don't know if that's like a New York thing. I don't know. I don't know New York well.
Yeah. See, I never watched the video. I just heard about it. So,
I don't think there is video.
okay. I'd probably be shocked if I'd probably be in shock first of all, like what.
True, that's true. There are, yeah, exactly. And I've never seen someone on fire, so I mean,
But then,
maybe I
like
would be in
you
shock
said,
too. But
I'd probably take off my shirt, try to get the fire out.
yep,
Who knows if there's a fire extinguisher,
yep.
um, on the train. So I mean, who knows? But yeah, it's unfortunate. And the other thing is, this guy who set the woman on fire. Did anything happen? Like, was he ever like? Of course, or did someone like when police came? Did they deem him a threat and did they shoot him? And
No, he's they caught him. He's arrested. He's a immigrant from. Actually, I have it pulled up right here. Um, it says his name is Sebastian Zapata Khalil, 33. He's an unlawful present Guatemalan citizen who entered the U.S. without admission of immigration official in Arizona. And I thought I read somewhere he might be one of these people who was previously deported and came back as well. But, I mean, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's, the problem with our country right now, and I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. A lot of people say that it's George Soros who has been giving money to these local races because he determined that that's where he could get his best bang for his buck. So instead of him being like an Elon Musk and trying to get Biden across the finish line or Kamala Harris, apparently he learned a long time ago that your better bang for your buck is, to take, 20 million and put it into getting Kim Fox elected in Chicago so that she's the person who makes all the decisions. And then when Jussie Smollett does something like he did, now you have an ally that can say, oh, well, we don't want to go that hard against, black people that are committing crime. So we'll let him go and call that justification for, past racism and, mistakes of people, 100 years ago.
yeah, which that was terrible. And something I have to say about Kim Fox is she is one of the worst in Illinois, and I'm so glad I'm not a Cook County resident, and and it'll be good when she leaves office. She leaves office pretty soon, and
Oh, does she? What
yeah,
happened with her? Did she lose, or is she just
no,
leaving
she
office? Or
yeah, she decided not to run again. There's
okay,
another Democrat who will be in,
okay,
but you know, my feelings when it comes to state and local. I don't think the Democrats do a good job. Cook County should really try to get someone
yeah,
who's Republican in there, who's stricter with crime, but or who's that guy who was in Arizona? He was a sheriff.
yeah. Joe
Um,
Arpaio.
yeah,
Yeah.
I, I mean, people think he was a little extreme, but I think that's what you need here in Illinois.
Well, I
Um,
mean, the problem is when
when it
you
comes,
arrest people for doing bad things, do you want to treat them like little children and give them a cookie and milk, or do you want to actually treat them like a criminal? If you treat
yeah,
them like a criminal, you might get less criminals.
yeah, exactly. I mean, in
And
prison, I
actually,
mean, they have
two of those district attorneys lost because they were too liberal, and the local people said we want more penalties for criminals. One was London Breed. She's the mayor of San Francisco. She lost her race in this last election, and then that Gascon guy. He was the prosecuting attorney of L.A., and he was criticized for letting a lot of people go, and he lost his job too.
well, but
Yep.
yeah, well, hopefully Chicago and Cook County can learn from this. But I honestly don't think Chicago and Cook County ever will learn. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Yeah.
All right. Well, this one's at 15 minutes too, so we'll sign off on this one. Again, like, comment, subscribe. If you have anything that you would like to say to us, please put it in the comments, and we'll be sure to read it and respond. All
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
See you later.
Yeah.
Bye.